Welcome to the YouTube channel of Legally Trust. This video is one of the series of educational videos that will be available on this channel under the category General Awareness.
Hello friends, today we'll be discussing about the topic of registration under Motor Vehicles Act 1988. I'd like to begin by saying that it is important to have stringent provisions in place in order to ensure everyone's safety. On a daily basis as a routine, we pass by hundreds of cars on the roads and do not even remember them the next day. But that is how we as private individuals think. The state, on the other hand, cannot think like this, and it needs to ensure that all the vehicles which run on the road are abiding by all the laws set in place and there are no violations which are being done. How does the state do this? The state does this by keeping a record of all the vehicles which run on the road, and this record is maintained by virtue of the registration of the vehicle. Now, getting your vehicle registered is a mandate under Motor Vehicles Act. Section 39 of this act stipulates that it is mandatory for an owner to get their vehicle registered. This mandate cannot be circumvented as it helps in keeping a record of all the vehicles which run on the road by the state machinery, which is important for the purposes of tracing and tracking of vehicles and their owners. For example, these days a prevalent practice is that when a vehicle breaks the red signal, the security cameras capture the number plate of the vehicle and a notice is sent to the owner of the vehicle regarding the traffic violation. This is possible because of the fact that the vehicle is registered and the state machineries have a record of these registered vehicles. This is an example of why the state machinery needs to have all the records of vehicles, because sometimes it's important to trace and track vehicles as well as their owners, and this record helps them do it. Further, the state also cannot stand by and let vehicles be used in whatever manner their owners seem fit, or the environmental impact caused by the vehicle is also not to be left up to the discretion of the owners, is rather to be regulated by the state. This is all done by the mandate placed under this act, which requires everyone to get their vehicles registered. There are two types of registrations. One is temporary, one is permanent. Permanent registration is when that registration number which is given to your car, it stands valid for 15 years. And temporary registration is when a temporary number is allotted to your car for a short frame of time, and within this time the person is supposed to apply for permanent registration. The procedure for registration is given under section 41 of the act, which states that the owner of the vehicle has to make an application for registration accompanied by a few documents such as ID proof of the owner, the pollution control certificate of the vehicle. Upon submitting these documents successfully, the registering authority can issue a certificate of registration. This certificate encompasses details about the vehicle and the owner, such as the name and address of the owner, the class of the vehicle, when the vehicle was manufactured, and the date of registration and the expiry date till when the registration stands valid. Permanent registrations stand valid for 15 years, after which they are subject to renewal every 5 years. Now, what happens when a vehicle which is already registered in one state is transferred to another state? When this happens, the owner has to apply for re-registration. This process involves that the owner has to take a no objection certificate from the RTO office where the vehicle was registered at the first instance. This NOC gives clearance for the vehicle to be shifted to the another state. Once this happens, then the owner has to submit few documents such as the copy of insurance of the vehicle, the attested copy of the address proof of the owner, the attested copy of the pollution control certificate, and a copy of the PAN card of the owner. Upon submission of these documents, a challan is issued for the purposes of road tax, after which the RTO inspects the vehicle, and then this process of re-registration gets completed and the certificate can be collected. Now, there are different kinds of vehicles which run on the roads, and these needs to be distinguished and bifurcated for the same record keeping by the state machinery. This is also done by giving each type of vehicle a separate color of the number plates. For example, a privately used vehicle will have a number plate with white background. On the other hand, an electric vehicle will have the background of the color green. This is done to bifurcate the different kinds of vehicle. All these different kinds of vehicles are bifurcated into different classes, and that helps in a proper, organized and systematic manner for the state machinery to keep a records of all the types of vehicles and their registration numbers. As stated earlier, section 39 of the Act makes it mandatory to get your vehicle registered. Non-compliance with this provision attracts severe penalties under the same Act. Section 192 of the said Act says that the penalty for using a non-registered vehicle, at the first offence the fine is of rupees 5,000 rupees, and in the second instance the fine can go up to rupees 10,000 rupees along with imprisonment up to 1 year. Further, section 192B also states other offences regarding registration. It says that if an owner fails to make an application, they can be charged with fine which may go up to 5 times the annual road tax, and if the dealer fails to make an application, then he shall be liable for fine which may extend up to 15 times the annual road tax. These stringent provisions are set in place to ensure that people understand that this mandate of registration cannot be circumvented. There are also penalties stipulated for obtaining registration under false documents. This penalty stipulates fine up to 10 times the annual road tax. To conclude, registration of the vehicles is a mandatory requirement, and as said earlier, it cannot be circumvented under any circumstance, because every vehicle which runs on the road needs to be susceptible to tracking and tracing by the state instrumentalities in order to protect everyone. And if this is not done, if the vehicle is not susceptible to tracking and tracing by the state machinery, then it involves a potential risk for everyone. Therefore, it is a mandate to get your vehicle registered under the governing law, which is Motor Vehicles Act 1988. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was informative. Thank you.
Hope the information contained in this video was useful to you. We look forward to each one of your support and cooperation in making this initiative a success. For more details about the trust, do visit us at www.legalaidtrust.in. Kindly subscribe this channel and click on the bell icon to get the latest updates about various law-related educational videos. Thank you for watching us and have a good day.